Irish Fairy Tales, Chapter 17. But Finn was gone. He was away, bound with his band of poets for the Galties. It is likely they were junior poets come to the end of a year's training, and returning to their own province to see again the people at home, and to be wondered at and exclaimed at as they exhibited bits of the knowledge which they had brought from the great schools. They would know tags of rhyme and tricks about learning which Finn would hear of, and now and again, as they rested in a glade or by the brink of a river, they might try their lessons over. They might even refer to the Ogham wands on which the first words of their tasks and the opening lines of poems were cut, and it is likely that, being new to these things, they would talk of them to a youngster, and, thinking that his wits could be no better than their own, they might have explained to him how Ogham was written. But it is far more likely that his women guardians had already started him at those lessons. Still, this band of young bards would have been of infinite interest to Finn, not on account of what they had learned, but because of what they knew. All the things that he should have known as by nature. The look, the movement, the feeling of crowds, the shouldering and intercourse of man with man, the clustering of houses and how people bore themselves in and about them, the movement of armed men, and the homecoming look of wounds, tales of births and marriages and deaths, the chase with its multitudes of men and dogs, all the noise, the dust, the excitement of mere living. These, to Finn, knew come from leaves and shadows and the dipple and dapple of a wood, would have seemed wonderful. And the tales they would have told of their masters, their looks, fads, severities, sillinesses, would have been wonderful also. That band should have chattered like a rookery. They must have been young, for one time a Leinsterman came on them, a great robber named Fiachquil mac Conagh, and he killed the poets. He chopped them up and chopped them down. He did not leave one poteen of them all. He put them out of the world and out of life so that they stopped being, and no one could tell where they went or what had really happened to them. And it is a wonder indeed that one can do that to anything, let alone a band. If they were not youngsters, the bold Fiachquil could not have managed them all. Or, perhaps, he too had a band, although the record does not say so. But kill them he did, and they died that way. Finn saw that deed, and his blood may have been cold enough as he watched the great robber coursing the poets as a wild dog rages in a flock. And when his turn came, when they were all dead, and the grim, red-handed man trod at him, Finn may have shivered, but he would have shown his teeth and laid roundly on the monster with his hands. Perhaps he did that, and perhaps for that he was spared. "Who are you?" roared the staring black mouth with the red tongue squirming in it like a frisky fish. "The son of Yule, son of Baisken," quoth hardy Finn. And at that the robber ceased to be a robber, the murderer disappeared, the black-rimmed chasm packed with red fish and precipices changed to something else, and the round eyes that had been popping out of their sockets and trying to bite, changed also. There remained a laughing and crying and loving servant who wanted to tie himself into knots if that would please the son of his great captain. Finn went home on the robber's shoulder, and the robber gave great snorts and made great jumps and behaved like a first-rate horse. For this same Fiachquil was the husband of Bavmal, Finn's aunt. He had taken to the wilds when Clan Baisken was broken, and he was at war with a world that had dared to kill his chief.